Yo! I love the horror genre, as most of you know, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure most of the people that are subscribed to me probably know, or anyone that's watched any of my videos probably knows that. But, today we're going to be talking about a relatively new horror killer, and I figured the best way to explain what this video is about is using the horror Mount Rushmore, and basically all I'm going to be talking about is why everyone loves art so much all of a sudden. He actually blew up in popularity really fast. He had All Hallows Eve, which is a pretty good anthology movie. And then the first Terrifier, he blew up there, and then Terrifier 2 came out, and now he is just skyrocketed in popularity. And I thought I would use the horror Mount Rushmore. If you don't know what that is, it's just a lot of horror fans just try to do a horror Mount Rushmore of the killers that have affected horror the most and stuff like that. And basically I'm going to use that to show why everyone loves art so much. This should be a pretty short video because I'm not going to really go too deep into it. I'm just going to show two different types of horror Mount Rushmores and then show you. Well, I'm not going to spoil it because why would you even watch it if I did? But yeah, let's get into it. Tomorrow I'm probably going to make a video over my own horror Mount Rushmore, but today I thought I would just do a video over art because this is actually a pretty interesting, huge jump in just how popular he is, honestly. Okay, in this video I'm going to do two Mount Rushmores of horror, just so that you can figure out, like, what a horror Mount Rushmore is before the video tomorrow, and so that I can show off, like, why people like art so much. Then this, like, horror Mount Rushmore, the first one, is going to be a slasher one. These are the slasher killers, the silent and brutal types. So, first of all, we obviously have Jason Voorhees. Secondly, we have someone that I think every single person would put on this version of Horror Mount Rushmore, which is Michael Myers, because Jason and Michael are kind of the exact same. They're silent killers that walk instead of running. They're basically the two that people jump towards whenever they think of the slasher genre as a whole. And then the third one on this Mount Rushmore of four characters, because, you know, Mount Rushmore has four heads on it, like four presidents, is Leatherface. I don't think I need to explain why Leatherface is here. He is not completely silent, but he is one of the first slashers ever. Like, he's pretty early on whenever the slasher genre became a thing. He's not the first one. I might do a video about who the first slasher killer is and just a whole history video later if you guys want a video like that. But right now, Leatherface is on this, and I'm pretty sure every single person would agree that Leatherface deserves to be on the slasher horror Mount Rushmore. And one that fits perfectly into the slasher genre horror Mount Rushmore is Art the Clown. Art the Clown fits perfectly in this mold. He doesn't speak, he is brutal, and he normally doesn't run. I haven't watched Terrifier 3 yet. Once I do, I'm definitely making a movie review over it, so you'll know when I watch it. But, yeah, he's basically the perfect slasher killer. I mean, he fits perfectly on this Mount Rushmore, and I think that's why a lot of people resonate towards him. But let's talk about another, like, version of a horror Mount Rushmore, because horror Mount Rushmore, like, as a whole, like I'm gonna do tomorrow, the video over, is pretty hard to make, because there's so many different genres and clashing ideologies and everything whenever it comes to horror as a whole. That's why it's probably going to be a pretty long video tomorrow over the horror Mount Rushmore mine, at least. But, yeah, he fits perfectly in this. Let's talk about another one, which is the charismatic killer. Now, I know not a lot of people would say that this is a whole completely different genre of horror movie villains, but I personally would. I think the silent killer slasher versions belong in one area, and I think that, well, unless you're talking about horror as a whole, like I'm going to tomorrow, but today I'm talking about two separate, you know, like, ideologies, I guess, of them. But Freddy Krueger, absolutely first one that anyone would say, I'm fairly certain, because even in the first one, he has an amazing, charismatic presence, and then in the sequels, he gets even more just rambunctious and charismatic, and sometimes annoying, but usually it tiptoes along the line of scary and, you know, charismatic. Chucky is another one that I don't think a lot of horror fans, or, like, people who would make this list in general, even if they aren't a huge fan of horror, would be able to, you know, like, say doesn't belong here. He is basically a dull version of Freddy whenever it comes to his how charismatic he is. He makes a lot more jokes. He has a sense of humor whenever he kills, basically, and he finds everything he does extremely amusing, and just he's a crazy serial killer dude in a doll's body. I mean, you can't get much more charismatic than that. But the next one that I'm going to talk about is a different type of charisma. It's not making jokes and making the killing fun, it's something different. The third one on this charismatic killers Mount Rushmore is different, just like the third one on the last slasher one that I just talked about was different. This is Pinhead. If you haven't seen Hellraiser, which get on that. Hellraiser 1 is amazing, and Hellraiser 2 is awesome. I might just make a whole video about Hellraiser. I love Hellraiser and Clive Barker creations in general. But let's talk about him really fast. He has a charisma that kind of mimics Dracula in the movies. He has a very... It's less of a seduction type of thing and more of just a... He's very cold and calculating, and he has lines that are extremely scary, but also just gives it a sense of gravitas, and just, it's really cool. He has a charismatic side that isn't funny or anything like that, but it's the type of charisma that demands your attention. Now, with all of them out of the way, and this being an art video, can you guess who's gonna win the fourth place on this Mount Rushmore? That's right, it's Barney the dinosaur. But seriously, Barney is an extremely charismatic killer, but this Mount Rushmore is actually ended with art. Obviously, it's an art video talking about why he got so popular. Now, let's think about this. How is he charismatic while he doesn't talk? And he fits perfectly in with the unspeaking, unmoving, unkillable slashers. Why is he in with the charismatic weirdos? Well, I mean, Freddy fits perfectly in with the slashers too. He just doesn't speak. He does speak, actually, is what I meant to say. You know what I meant. He does speak, but art fits into both because he's a mime. Mimes are freaks of nature. They somehow have the creepiness. Well, I guess some people find it, I don't know. Why do people like mimes? Are they supposed to be funny or something? Or are they? I have no idea, man. But yeah, he doesn't speak, but he has the body language of a mime. He's charismatic through that way, which I think him fitting into both of these categories really helps him stand out, but from other killers like Jason, like Michael. Maybe not Leatherface, because Leatherface has the really amazing and sexy dance. He has perfect choreography. He actually took, whenever he had to dance at the end of the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, he took lessons from Jojo Siwa. That's how you can tell. That's why he was so good at dancing, you know. But he fits into both, which is an extremely hard line to follow, because it's weird to have an unspeaking, unstoppable killer that is also funny and charismatic like Art is, and that's why he's so popular, I think. It's also a factor of his movies are extremely gory, which gets more eyes on it, more people that maybe don't like the horror genre but are like, oh, this movie is supposed to be so gory. Even though Terrifier 2 I did not think was that bad at all. I've seen Hatchet. Hatchet has some weird, genuinely weird gory kills, but the kills were fun, and Art is fun but also horrifying, and it's a really, like I said, it's a really hard line to walk whenever you're talking about making a character, and I think they made a true legend in horror with Art. I can go ahead and say that. I haven't seen Terrifier 3, but I'm sure it's absolutely amazing. I'm actually extremely excited for it. I have a Terrifier 2 review up, and I need to do one for Terrifier 1, but I don't have Netflix, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's on. I can look it up and see if it is, and if it's on anything, I'll watch it again and do a whole review over it. But yeah, Art the Clown is genuinely just something special in the horror genre right now because he's getting so many eyes on him right now, and I genuinely do think it's just because of his charisma and how brutal he is. I think mixing the brutality of the Hatchet films with the charisma of something like Freddy and Chucky and stuff like that without him even having to speak, because them speaking can be cringe to some people. I have heard that some people don't like Freddy and Chucky whenever they talk or they make jokes, but Art is able to make jokes without actually speaking, so it's less cringe and more, well, it's even creepier because he's like, he's taking the time to emote on you, basically, and it's really cool. Art's cool, and I think he actually deserves to be a huge icon. Like, there are some killers that I don't see the appeal in whenever people, like, even like casual horror fans or people who don't even like horror in general, they all know them and everything, and I'm like, why is that the one you like that much? But with Art, I can completely understand it. Yeah, this was a video over why Art is so spectacularly loved so far, and I mean, yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video. Tomorrow I'm going to do a horror Mount Rushmore over horror in general, and yeah, tell me what you think about Art or Terrifier in general. Tell me what your horror Mount Rushmore will be. Well, I mean, or save it for the video tomorrow, because I'm going to ask you all to comment that tomorrow too, so, you know, either one, this video, next video, I don't care. But yeah, thank you for watching my weird little rant about a kind of brand new killer. They've been working on Art for a while, considering All Hallows Eve and everything. But yeah, thank you for watching, and see ya.